Good morning. Good morning. It is Thursday, February 19 at 9:02 a.m. and some change. Good morning. Good morning. How are you? How are you doing today? How are you doing today? How are you? Um, it's an important question. There, people. I remember some discussion about this a couple of years ago from somewhere on the internet about how the phrase "How are you" is like useless small talk, but for me, it's important. For me, I use words to communicate meaning. So, how are you is an important question, and I want to ask that today because the subject that I have in mind to talk about is not very fun. It's not a very fun subject. But it can be. It can be very fun. How do we make this fun? There is no. There are no conditions for seriousness and humor to emerge as a valid dynamic because of random post I was scrolling on. I'm just gonna read this. I don't want to attribute this person because I just followed them. But this person says, "Yeah, you'll you can search the text on Twitter." This person is complaining that we laugh far too much. And we is this our generation, I'm assuming. We laugh too much. We're chronically unable to take ourselves seriously. It is impossible to have even a 5-minute conversation without at least several half hearted jokes and anxious laughter on both sides as a bare minimum of modern etiquette. There's just, like, I just read this as fear and cowardice, like latent fear and afraidness. And you could call it cowardice, but it's logical. There's logical reasons why people are afraid to express themselves. And humor is notoriously one of the hardest things to express because it's contextual. It depends on individuals. Different people find things funny. I find a lot of things very funny. I am a sardonic person naturally. I'm extremely sardonic. So things that other people find very dark, I often find humorous. Not just as a defense mechanism, but also they're objectively funny. Some things are objectively funny. Some things are objectively real and serious. And when the topic turns to a real and serious topic, I really have to try to slow down and put myself into the shoes of someone who's taking things very seriously. We talked about how many tangents. Yeah, it's tangent time. We talked about the monkey sphere 2 episodes ago. Um, so the only people that I have a habit of slowing down for are people that I care about, people that I love and trust and know. I know how they're suffering. I know why they're suffering. I can empathize with it, and I can feel empathy. um, and then sometimes you find things that are empathy provoking. Um, and there's no good way to generalize anything here. I just kind of jumped right into this one. So let's start here. And let's search. Let's see if I've done any writing about it. I know I've done some writing about this topic. So let's see if I can just lean on my past self to carry me through this discussion. No, there's stuff. That's recent. That's recent. Yeah. It's a topic I've thought about a lot. Let's start. I don't even see. Here's the thing. I don't have an audience to analyze. There's no framing for this. This is tough, man. These unformed video blogs are tough because there's no audience. I can't latch on to someone and frame this in a way that makes sense to them. So then you just fall back to being authentic and honest, which I hate. I despise it. I'm a 35-year-old man. I have suffered from depression in my past. Yeah, I feel nothing. I feel nothing saying that. It's pretty obvious. I feel no resistance against that statement. It's all pretty integrated. So, depression, for me, the word is a fighting word. If someone tells me they're depressed, I'll get a little activated, a tiny bit. I'll get a tiny bit activated because it's a loaded term. Depression. It's a very fucking loaded term. The Diagnostic Standard Manual 5 of the Taxonomy of Words. This is a whole book you can read. And it's a word in that book. So that book claims the word depression as its domain. So, DSM 5. Maybe there's a new one. Are they working on the DSM 6? DSM 6. All right. It's currently in development. In the year 2030, we're all going to get a new dictionary that tells us how, what all the words mean relating to, great. There's a new DSM-6 coming out in 4 years. I can't wait to see what it says. DSM-5, Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, 5th edition. Definition of depression. Understand my magnanimity here, okay? What I'm displaying here is magnanimity. I'm very magnanimous, okay? And because I'm so magnanimous, I'm relying on warped words to get me through this video blog this morning. So, okay. All these things, I have my tabs open. They're all open. The subject's ready. We're good. We're all good here. We're going in. To depression. Everyone go, depression. Dang, it's real. I can't help but argue with with my counter definition to this definition. First, I get the floor. It's my video blog. To depress. To depress is like you have a cushion. Okay? You have like a cushion and you're depressing, you're sinking into a cushion. I don't know. I'm just making this shit up. The word to depress is an old word. Are we gonna sit here fucking arguing about this? Yes. Yes, we are. Etymology, depress. To depress. Okay. Deprimere. Deprimere. To press down. Hey, cool. Depresser. From the Latin depresser. Frequent, whatever. Pressing down became depresser, became depresser, became depress in late Middle English. Let's see more. There we go. Etymology, origin, use over time for depress. Oh, the word depresses is going down. Okay. Etymology for the word depression, depressus, deprimere, evolving from literal, blah, blah, blah. Finally, a 19th century psychiatric term for lowering of mood, replacing the ancient term melancholia. Okay, so it used to be called melancholia. Now it is 5 or more symptoms, including either depressed mood or loss of interest / pleasure nearly every day for at least 2 weeks. Symptoms must cause significant distress or impairment or include changes in sleep, appetite, energy, concentration, or self-worth. Core diagnostic motherfuck must have one or the first 2: depressed mood, feeling sad, empty, hopeless, or irritable in children / adolescents, anhedonia, markedly diminished interest or pleasure in activities. Supporting symptoms: significant weight loss gain, appetite changes, insomnia, hypersomnia, psychomotor. Am I reading all? Why am I reading this? This is so stupid. I'm wasting time. Okay, fuck this. Fuck this. This is so retarded. It's so retarded. And here, okay, because we're getting too serious. I'm getting too serious. I lean towards seriousness too often. I lean towards seriousness. So I should lighten up. This one's a funny joke about the concept of funniness and serious. This is a fucking retarded definition. This is what I wanted to talk about today. This was the link as I was scrolling through my Twitter. I saw this and I remembered I have a whole ideology sitting around in my brain that I've constructed over years of my own personal downtime periods. Okay, I've had downtime periods, right? So fuck all these other words. Fuck melancholia. I don't use the word melancholia. I don't use the word depression. I don't use the word depression. I use the term I've had some down periods in my life. Okay, periods of recovery, rest, and relaxation. I've had a few. During those periods, I have, like any person, like rationally constructed a set of ideas based off of my circumstances to interpret the world around me. And because I'm sardonic, because something in me is formidable, because something in me, okay? And I believe other people have this. Something in me is formidable, like unearthly formidable. I have a toughness. I don't know where it is. It's not, I'm working on it. I'm working on my spine. I have a toughness. And it's just, I'm a rugged fucking dude. I'm rugged. I survive. And how I do this is that I'm a very sardonic asshole. Naturally. I'm a very fucking sardonic asshole. And it's seriousness mixed with the proclivity to humor that is what sardonicness is it's indetectable. Nobody on planet Earth, I craft myself in a way that nobody can tell when I'm serious or joking. That's how I've constructed, that's how I've grown. I've grown around this principle. You think you can understand me, you can't. You can't understand me. There's no way you can understand. There's no way you could fathom me. Okay. Being a sardonic asshole lets you thrive under circumstances of what normies would call depression. It lets you thrive. And it lets you thrive in a specific way, which is everything else can be rotting away. Let's go into my etiology of Eldar. Eldar is a much better word than any of these words. Melancholia, depression, taking time off. Eldar, this guy, I read this post in 2020. And this became, for a few months, basically kind of my life. Because I was just doing what was described in this post. So, Saint Alia Harkonnen of Dune fame. You're on blast. You're on blast, buddy. I hope you're still out there. This post was amazing. This post changed my life. And I hope you're still out there, and I hope you're still out there. I just hope you're still out there. I don't know what happened to you. It sounds like you've had a rough life. And if you have departed, then God bless. Then that fills me with some relief to imagine that, because this world can be full of suffering, and suffering sucks. Suffering is horrible. That's it. Yeah, in for a penny, right? And this is what I want to actually read because it's challenging. And it applies to some things that matter to me. So, there's a lot to say about Eldaring as a way of life, which automatically makes it difficult for anyone practicing Eldar to write such a handbook. I have, however, decided to do it. As for one, I really don't have anything better to do, and it doesn't come in the way of my drinking. Hats off. I also feel empathy for alcohol problems. I've been a pothead. I have pothead problems. So I have sympathy, but not much empathy. Stop drinking. There's ways to stop drinking. Look up the what was fucking Katie Herzog alcohol pill. Look up the Katie Herzog alcohol pill thing. If you have problems drinking, maybe it'll help. Saint Alia Harkonnen says, I will cover the basics here and then elaborate more in separate posts or in comments if necessary. What is Eldaring? Laying down and rotting is a state of mind and a way of life. Understand this. These people are trying to rob you of your agency. That is what this definition is intended to do. You are not you. Your personality and history and opinions do not fucking matter. What matters is this definition of symptoms. This is what defines you. This is why I hate this definition. This is why I love this definition. Laying down and rotting is a way of life. I hope that resonates. I still kind of do this sometimes. I still want to lay down and rot sometimes. That's crazy. The short definition is pretty clear. Existing in a limbo, without goals or aspirations or initiative, which unfortunately often prevents you from killing yourself as well. Fighting word. Because I issued a fighting word that violates YouTube's code of conduct, this post will be demonetized. It'll be analyzed by algorithms. It'll be determined by these fucking people to cause social contagion, which is a theory that these fucking people have. Sorry, I'm getting a little spittle. These fucking people have a theory of social contagion, which means if you utter certain fighting words, like the phrase killing yourself, then you are basically a disease carrier, and you need to be quarantined and vaccinated and separated and isolated from the rest of society. This is their fucking theory. I'm telling you what it is. That's how they think about phrases like this. I find them to be cowards and fake and horrible. I find them to be. I just used the word evil earlier. I don't believe in evil. I don't believe in the word evil. But these people are fucking evil. These people are fucking evil. There, I said it. Eldaring is a training for dying. Meaningless countdown until the inevitable. But while passive, it is not static. As the word rot suggests, you are going through a process. In it, you kill off parts of yourself bit by bit, since you lack the energy and motivation to take the big leap. I want to know what parts of yourself you kill off and in what order, because it's really fascinating. This is a really fascinating, cutting-edge medical insight, completely invisible to the fucking DSM people. They don't understand that this is a process. This is a description of a technical process that can help to process the experience of what you people call depression. This is a method. And Saint Alia Harkonnen is a wise person that leaves the method to themselves. Since you lack the energy and motivation to take the big leap, like a person who wants to swim, but instead of jumping into the cold sea, they're standing there trying to slowly get accustomed to the chilling water of death. Is the goal of Eldaring death? Wrong premise. Eldaring isn't done with an objective unless you want... laying down and rotting isn't done with an objective unless you want to be extremely nitpicky and argumentative, like most Redditor normies. Fucking... my love just grows. Unless you want to be extremely fucking nitpicky and argumentative, there's no objective here, all right? It's not... Stop trying to think about objectives, right? Eldars are not passionate about dying or enthusiastically preparing for death. Eldaring is about the rejection of life. Yeah, see, I want to edit this. And it's my copy, so I can. I have a copy of this, so I can edit this. Eldaring is about the rejection of life. And if you pause here for a little metaphysical comment, if you have metaphysical ideologies and beliefs, this sentence will make a lot of sense to you. It resonates with many, 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 many metaphysical cultures and traditions all around the world. But right now we're focusing on this one person's idea. While death can be certainly comforting, we know we aren't actually going to exist to experience any comfort, only dying, which is probably not a pleasant experience. But we know we have no real control over anything and no significant options. We're just existing through it and letting it take its toll on us, as any realist, or as any normies would say, pessimist, knows it would anyway, just with more pain and more disappointment on our end. What is Eldaring hoping to achieve? I want to read this sentence. I want to read this again. While death can certainly be comforting, we know we aren't actually going to exist to experience any comfort, only dying, which is probably not experience. So, like, the idea of death is comforting, but getting to death is not comfortable. So you're in kind of a paradox. You're in like a comfort paradox. You can have that warm feeling, like imagining dying, and sometimes it feels good to imagine that. But getting to that point, right? There's a comfort paradox, and I think kind of a nice one. I had another tweet about this. Depression, in my worldview, coming back to physiology layer, in my physiological outlook, depression is a positive thing your body does. It's a process your body initiates in order to preserve yourself. If you have situations that are out of your control, out of your understanding, out of your ability to participate in, out of your ability to affect positively, your body says, somewhere up here. Maybe the hypothalamus is implicated. I don't know if research has been done. Your body says, okay, time to fucking hibernate, or time to die. It's like it's similar. Like it probably uses the same circuits, you know. But your body initiates a process that's like, okay, shut down protocol, turn off all the fucking energy hormones, turn off all the sex drive, turn off all the appetite, just shut the fuck down for a bit and sleep. That's my philosophy. It's almost hard delving too much into this particular philosophy because I'm on the other side of this period. I'm not. My current state is like, all right, I'm now active again and living life, and I'm in the swing of things, and life is good. So this is hard for me to really try to take by itself. But let's get through it. We have like 5 minutes left. What is Eldaring hoping to achieve? Nothing. Why choose Eldaring as a way to spend your days? Choosing Eldaring as a way to spend your days. Even if everything is meaningless and death is the only certainty, can't you at least have some fun? Because nothing available to us is fun. And hedonia. Because we are not sociopaths enough to find pleasure in a world like this one, and not deluded enough to be oblivious to it. You want to remain your authentic self. And everything we want is not possible or obtainable, which causes frustrations. So, Eldaring is an optimal solution, as it allows one to remain personally honest, keeping your integrity, keeping yourself intact, keeping yourself honest, while minimizing negative reactions and emotions and reducing the effort spent on living that produces no benefits in return. It's a rational choice. Are there any philosophies associated with Eldar? We're going to run over our time limit, and we're just going to have to eat it because this is more important to finish this. I think. Are there any philosophies associated with Eldar? When you Eldar, you're not concerned about philosophy or debating with Reddit philosophy majors. But pessimism offers the correct description of our reality. To beginners, I recommend reading Schopenhauer's essays on pessimism. Footnote, Schopenhauer is a Hindu. Schopenhauer subscribed to Hindu philosophy and was inspired by it. Bet you didn't know that. And nihilism reflects the general attitude towards it pretty accurately. I would say that antinatalism should logically follow, but phrasing it like that is a little too opinionated and might mistakenly communicate some kind of idealism to normies. There's a lot of pessimism in the Conspiracy Against the Human Race by Thomas Ligotti is like an expression of that. Also attractive to people who are depressed. I feel like if I keep reading this too long, like I'll start to get depressed, but we'll power through it because we're good. We have coffee. We're good. I have cigarettes. What more do I need? What are some perks of going Eldar? There are many. Through simplification of life and allowing different parts of your existence to die out, anxiety becomes more manageable. You have a lot of free time. Very little nostalgia, as every day is exactly the same. You don't really... Memory is kind of... when you're depressed, like, memory isn't great. You don't really remember a lot of things. You don't have to complain about procrastination on Reddit, as there is nothing to procrastinate. Time is not the enemy anymore. You don't have to rationally worry about whether something is healthy for you or obsess over what you should be doing. You're looking at the bigger picture. You're actually, you're gaining context during these periods. You're absorbing more about the nature of the world and reality. Every time you get depressed, it doesn't feel that way, but you are doing it. And here I am getting into pep talk mode. All right. Lifestyle is cheap and relatively easy once you get a hang of it. You're less annoying to yourself. Also, you stop being a useful, functional tool for supporting the world you can get no joy from. There's a few lifestyle. Yeah. What are some challenges that Eldar faces? Did I miss anything in this last? Time is not the enemy. You don't have to irrationally worry about whether something is healthy for you. You just let go of shit. I don't know. What are some challenges an Eldar faces? Depending on a personal situation, normies in your life might be passionate about making you not Eldar or punishing you for Eldaring. This is why, until you are able to achieve complete separation, it is advisable to be inconspicuous while rotting, and, in the true spirit of Eldar, let issues and efforts die off slowly through neglect rather than through an active fight. I need to practice this more. Let issues and efforts die off slowly through neglect rather than through an active fight. Have you ever heard a more golden nugget of wisdom? It's such a good one. It's such a good one. Almost everything dies if neglected for long enough, except for sex drive, but that's another story. This is too rich. This is too rich. I gotta just get through this. Because I don't want to come back to this topic again. I wanted to talk about this, and I don't have the tools for it. I don't have the tools for it in this one because it's too funny. It's too funny. We're doing an extended episode. We're already over the limit. 31 minutes. This is too sardonic. People are not as sardonic as me, so they're not going to see the humor in this. But this is really funny. Wait, can you see this one? Yeah. This is a really funny story. It seems like it's fiction. I don't know. I don't know where it's from. This is retarded. I mean, okay, read this definition. If you're kind of dumb and you don't know anything, read this definition and see if it applies to you. And if it applies to you, listen to your doctor. Try the drugs. Try whatever they tell you. Just do it. You got to do it. You got to do it because it's the law. It's actually the law. And I'm not opposed to this. I've been depressed in the past under this definition, and I've looked up this definition and I've gotten some ideas from it. Just don't identify as depression. Don't change your name to Sir Depression. Okay? Keep your name. Whatever your name is, keep it and say, I, name, am currently having feelings that seem similar to this description of this word definition of depression that I found in this dictionary by a bunch of nerds whose job it is to, like, in my ideology. Okay, what I actually wanted, this is how I express this. I'm so sorry, everyone. This is how I express this. These people, their job is to kill you. Their job is to make this situation happen. That's the best rationalization I can come up with why the American Association of Psychiatric Professionals seems to be failing at their job. They seem to be failing horribly at their basic job of making people not want to fucking die. They seem to be failing from my perspective. This is a funny anecdote. This is a funny story. This is a sad story of this wonderful, attractive man who got euthanized. This is the Comprehensive Guide to Eldaring, a powerful tome. This is a powerful tome. It's a treasure. It's a tome. I have a copy of it. I might be one of the few people who have saved this and archived it. I don't know. I couldn't find it on the internet for a while. Try this method. Try this method. Okay? I'm not going to read the rest of this. Just try it. And then try this method. Try this one. Try all these fucking methods. Or don't. Or whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. Ultimately, fucking it doesn't matter. Oh, dox some guy. Oh, doxing myself. Okay, yeah, we're done here. I cannot even publish this in good faith. This is not even watchable. This is a horrible rant. I just have been ranting for 15 minutes. What did I even say during that rant? I just doxed myself. I just doxed like horrible. Oh, this one's recent. Okay. This was a month ago. In case anyone is wondering what my political opinions are these days, it's still that every person in the state of Missouri needs to be placed under an immediate genocide for urgent humanitarian reasons. Yeah. Okay. This was on my birthday, too. This was my birthday a month ago. I said, I will, of course, volunteer to be the first person to be genocided. I now disavow. I now disavow this statement. I now disavow this statement. I want to live. I want to live now. I disavow. I disavow this statement. In case anybody is doubting me on the seriousness of my position, I'm about 3/4 through a draft outline of a published nonfiction book that makes this precise case. The working title for it is Genocide Now. Okay. And this, here is we've arrived to the point I was trying to make. We powered through it. I didn't want to dox this poor guy, but anyway, he's gone. I wrote a lot about, there's a bunch of horrible shit on this account. If you want word vomit, terrible creative writing, go ahead and look at this one. This one, I want to see. Wait, does this show up? I'm so bad at streaming. Hold on. Wait. No. That's the wrong one. If I highlight here, I can't tell. Hold on. I gotta figure out some shit here. Well, this is all work in progress. Here. But I'm here, so I can see if I change the window. It's not like any of this is not, it's not like you did not have the ability to search my Twitter for keywords in the past. I'm just giving you one because I've been thinking about this. I had been thinking about this for a day. I had like one day where I was thinking about this. If I highlight this tab, does it show up on above here? It does. It does show the hover over. Okay. Anyway, what did I say? Do I want to see my schizo shit from last year? Oh no. Sell their body to Gen X because the market is a closed loop system and the Pythagorean genocide of the younger male species essentially has no limiting feedback lever. Still true. Zizians. I tagged the Zizians and I said it's amazing to the extent which people do not know about small p politics, personhood, genocide, male, female, and ordinary social. Okay, we're safe. All this is in bounds. Okay. So, we're 7 minutes over. I'm embarrassed. We got to read this now to recharge. No laughing matter gets his title. It's not going to be that funny though when I read this now. It was funny when I read it earlier. You do have to laugh at. You do have to laugh. It's a requirement sometimes. I have to laugh at the irony of the fact that I don't have pants for my new job that I'm starting today. I need to somehow acquire a pair of pants. That's funny. That's pretty funny, objectively. Do I have the courage to... Now the question is, do I have the courage to make my point here between these two statements? The point is visible if you're good at grammar and you have high reading comprehension. But since nobody has high reading comprehension, it's very challenging to make sense of this statement for a general audience a general audience that has very low reading comprehension. So I resort to cliches and tropes. I have to. So, what I mean is that there is this thing called the Sword of Damocles. Isn't that nice? Isn't that fucking nice? Yeah. Thank you, ancient Roman philosophers, for getting me out of this pickle with some nice little philosophy. The more effective program for addressing the needs of this young, poor man, this poor, depressed young man, instead of, this is my opinion, I'm telling you my opinion, I have the courage to fight the swarm of evil DSM people. Instead of, if you have a loved one, if you have a loved young male in your life that you care about, instead of reading this definition, concluding that they have a thing called depression, if you live in Canada, and then forwarding that to local medical authorities for application under the Medical Assistance in Dying program. Let's say you really care. You actually care. We're assuming golden angelic people here, but assuming you actually care, and your loved young male in your life has just been depressed for years. They seem to just be hopeless and out of options. Instead of contacting MAID, what I recommend, what I will suggest as an option, is to buy a sword, a physical greatsword, a sharp one, a sharp sword. Hang it from a string above their bed and have it just dangle there. It's something to try. It's something to try. I'm mixing poetry and prose again, aren't I? I'm mixing poetry and prose. People don't like that. That is a habit of a sardonic, asshole, closed, sheltered, defensive mind, is when I mix poetry and prose. Because we get to this point and I don't know if I'm serious or joking. I don't know. I don't know. Probably, instead of hanging it above their bed, you wield it and you put on a manly affect. And the thing is, it's not credible. So credibility is the thing that matters. We do not exist because we live in this world. We do not have a context where you can credibly threaten to even point a sharp object at somebody, because it's against the law. It's against the law to do that. So you don't break any laws. There's no way to do it. There's no legal way to help this poor man. So those are my thoughts. That's all I got. Good luck.